Hello, I'm Rosa, community herbalist here at the School of Wild Medicine, and welcome to this video on blackberry medicinal uses. Here in the UK we also call blackberry Bramble, and I'm coming to you from a random couch that I just found in the middle of nature. It seems like a sign. So we're going to talk about blackberry leaves in this video, and then I'll make the next video on the root and the berries. So I've got my notes here. So if blackberry grows in your country, you're probably already really familiar with it because blackberry is really common. It grows in all kinds of different locations and it's really enthusiastic. It can grow up to 3 inches a day, I've heard, which is crazy. We can use the leaves, the roots and the berries. They're all a really abundant source of wild medicine, and it's really good to harvest a lot of the leaves in the spring and a lot of the berries in the summer, and then we can dry the leaves and we can pop the berries into the freezer, and then we've got a year-round source of wild food and wild medicine, which is really good because we don't have to worry about over harvesting it. So it's really good for the environment in that sense. So we can use blackberry leaves for a load of different health conditions, which we're going to cover in this video shortly. And we can make loads of different remedies. We can make herbal teas, decoctions, syrups, blackberry jam, tincture. So I'm going to put some basic recipes for those in the description of each video. And also, if you're watching this video and you can see that we're a really tiny YouTube channel with just a few subscribers, then please consider sharing this video because that would really help us to grow. And I'll be really grateful to you if you do that. So let me know in the comments if you do, so I can say thank you. And yeah, if you have got any health or herbal questions on any topic at all, then I love answering those, so let me know. And if you see that anyone else has asked one, then feel free to contribute because then we can all help each other. So I've got a close-up. Let's show you a close-up of the leaves. Yeah. I'm going to do some better close-ups in a minute because we're going to go look at some blackberry plants. It's August at the moment, so it's all the berries are out. So blackberry leaves. Let's check my notes. So we can make a herbal tea with the leaves, and we can use fresh leaves or dried leaves, and we can pour freshly boiled water over those and leave them to steep for anywhere from 10 minutes up to several hours. So I like to make more of a nourishing herbal infusion. I didn't bring my flask with me. I was going to do that. So yeah, I will pour the I will infuse the plant material in the flask, and I'll leave that for several hours, and then I'll either reheat a cup to drink it hot, or I will pour it into a water bottle and drink it cold throughout the day. And you don't have to get a fancy glass teapot for that, so you can use anything you've got at home. You could use a cooking pot with a lid if you don't have a thermos flask. Right, said all that. Yeah, when it's ready, I pour the tea out through a little strainer that looks like a sieve, and that helps me to catch any of the plant material. Also, the taste of blackberry leaf tea is really lovely. It's a bit sweet, it's earthy, it can be a bit tangy thanks to the vitamin C content, and it's also reminiscent of black tea thanks to the tannins in it. So the tannins are a major part of why the blackberry leaf is so medicinal, and we're going to start talking about that in a minute. So first we'll talk about when to harvest the leaves. So it's really good to harvest them in the spring when they're nice and fresh and bright green. So the older ones, like these, they're a bit darker green. They've got more tannins in them, and therefore they taste more bitter. So they've kind of lost that pleasant flavour, but you can still use them medicinally whenever you like. It's a lot of herbal tea blends I see have blackberry leaf as a major ingredient because the flavour is so lovely, and it helps to mask other plants, other herbs that are used in the blend that might be more bitter or a bit more yucky. So yeah, blackberry leaf is drying, so it's a good herb to take regularly if you tend to be more moist or stagnant, like stagnant boggy tissues. Then you can use it blackberry leaf as a normalizing agent to dry things up a bit. And it's also worth noting that blackberry leaf is, because of the tannins, it's best not to take it regularly long term at meal times, because it can build to the bind to the nutrients that's in food, like iron. But the same warning goes for all kinds of things like black tea and any other foods and drinks with tannins in. So not to worry too much about that. Right, I reckon I'm gonna go find some blackberries. We've got some around us now, and I'm gonna go show you some close-ups. So hold on in there. Okay, so blackberries are everywhere. I found them in loads of places on the way over, and this one isn't the biggest or the most beautiful, but it is in a very peaceful setting. As they say, the neighbours are very quiet, so hopefully nobody's going to come running out of the sidelines to come and laugh at me, because I do feel a bit silly doing these videos. I'm not used to it yet. And that couch that I was sat on was right next to a public footpath, so that was putting my social anxiety to the test. Filming there with a tripod. Right, so blackberry leaves, because they have tannins, they're very astringent, which means they help tighten and tone tissues, and that makes them good for conditions with too much moisture, like diarrhea or heavy menstrual bleeding. You don't want to be using tannins in people who already tend towards being dry, or if there's a dry condition like constipation, because in those cases blackberry leaf could be making things worse. Blackberry leaves are really good for soothing inflamed tissues, and they're also antibacterial, so they're particularly good for sores in the mouth, like canker sores or bleeding gums. They can help loose gums to tighten up, and for that you can sip on a few cups of blackberry leaf tea throughout the day, because the more often you coat the sore or the gums with that tea, the more effective this remedy will be. You can also make a mouthwash using the tea, and you can add salt to it and gargle with that and spit it out. Do that a few times a day until the situation improves. Another way you can get the blackberry leaf in contact with any damaged mucous membranes in the mouth is simply by using it as a herbal chew. So you can pick some fresh blackberry leaves and keep chewing on them in the mouth for a while, and chew on a few of them throughout the day. And if you do chew wild medicinal leaves regularly when you go foraging, like blackberry leaf, plantain leaf, whatever you can find, then that can act as a preventative to stop us from getting these mouth issues in the first place, which I think is really cool. One thing you want to be aware of is that some blackberry leaves can have a row of little spines on the underside. That one's got very tiny little spines, but some of them can be quite big and scary looking, so you might want to, when you're making the herbal tea, you could use like a double layer of muslin cloth, or you could strain it through a coffee filter to make sure you get out any of those little thorns, because you don't want them, you don't want to be swallowing them and getting them stuck in your digestive tract. So there's a lot of different blackberry species, which is why there's so many differences in the leaf shape and stuff once you look closely. But they have hundreds of microspecies, but they all have very similar medicinal properties, and you can use them all in the same way, so you don't really need to worry about it. Rubus is the genus name, and then it has all different species names, which is why, because usually I would tell you the Latin name, but I'm not sure for this one. So blackberry leaves, they also help soothe inflammation and heal wounds all the way through the digestive tract. So if you have an inflammatory condition like IBS or leaky gut syndrome, you can add blackberry leaf to a herbal tea blend. It's a good idea to combine it with other soothing herbs like marshmallow root or calendula. Blackberry leaf can also help prevent and soothe stomach ulcers, and it can be used as an antibiotic to fight the bacteria that causes them, called Helicobacter pylori, H. pylori. We can also use blackberry leaves for hemorrhoids, so we can drink it as a herbal tea if the hemorrhoids are internal. And if the hemorrhoids are external, we can make a sitz bath using the filtered tea. Any other moist conditions can also benefit from blackberry leaf. So if you've got excess phlegm in the lungs, or if you've got edema where the body is holding on to too much water, which is commonly in the legs or the feet, then drinking blackberry leaf tea can be very effective for those. Blackberry leaves are also a really good heart tonic. I've even read that they're potentially angiogenic, which means they might be able to help the body regenerate and form new capillaries. So a lot of this research I did was from herbalreality.com. I'll link that in the description. And there's also a really good compilation of medicinal uses of blackberry on, Learning Herbs. I'll link that as well. Right. Yeah, the leaves are very high in antioxidants like polyphenols and flavonoids, which helps to reduce oxidative stress and strengthens the whole cardiovascular system. They can also have a hypertensive effect, relaxing the vessels and lowering blood pressure. There's also been some research on using blackberry leaf to help improve blood sugar regulation, so you might want to look into that if you're interested in preventing and improving conditions like diabetes using wild plants. And another great use of blackberry leaf is as a uterine tonic. Instead of using raspberry leaves, you can just use blackberry leaves, especially in the last trimester of pregnancy. And that's really good because I don't often, I mean, I do see raspberry plants in quite a few places, but not in such large quantities as blackberry. So I only really harvest a few handfuls of raspberry leaves because I don't want to hold them back from thriving. But if you can just harvest blackberry leaves instead, that's a really great sustainable way to get your herbal medicine without having to like have it shipped over from another country, or if maybe you don't have a garden, you can't grow a load of raspberry leaves. Right. Yeah, so it helps to strengthen and tone the muscles of the uterus to make the labour process a little easier and quicker. And they have done studies on that with raspberry leaf, which is obviously related to blackberry. It looks very similar. It's got a light silvery underside to the leaves compared to blackberry. So whereas blackberry has just this, yeah, it does look a bit lighter there, but it's still green rather than the white of raspberry. Right, so I think I'll go sit down and then say goodbye to you. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've had fun making it, and if you have any information that you'd like to share about blackberry leaves, then let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to join an online herbalism school, then we've got a massive early bird discount running on the Family Herbalist online course, which is a full course with also a friendly community space where we can share pictures and videos of everything we've been foraging recently and remedies that we've been making in the kitchen. So it's been really fun to read everyone's messages, and if you have a health condition that you'd like me to go into detail researching, then that's a really good place to share things, and we can all help each other. So I've got a big vision for this school, and we're going to have thousands of members one day. So if you get in early, then you can enjoy the discount. Check out the information page. I'm going to link it in the pinned comment. And thank you for watching all the way through to the end of this video. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So I'll see you in the next video, which will be blackberry root, and then we'll do blackberry berry. So see you next time. Bye.